The next segment is courtesy of MedAesthetics Miami, located at the University of Miami Hospital. You can find us online at www.medaestheticsmiami.com or by phone at 305-356-7402. We are also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Hello, this is Rosanna from MedAesthetics Miami, your skincare boutique. As you may or may not know, today we are starting our new radio show where we will be talking about interesting topics from wellness to health and beauty. We are pleased to have Stacey Sagel with us, where she will be talking about dining and dating in Miami. Her blog, you can find her online at twogirlsinthe.city. Hi, Stacey. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. How are you, Rosanna?
Great. Well, I am very excited to hear what you have to say for us today. I believe you're going to be talking to us about different restaurants where we can do healthy eating here in Miami.
Yes, Rosanna. There's several restaurants, and actually in any restaurant in Miami, you can have healthy dining. There's many choices because it's a very, very health-conscious city, the city of Miami. So wherever you go, you are bound to find healthy options, such as fish. You can have grilled vegetables. You can have salads. Anything that you want can be modified in most restaurants here.
I had never thought of that, but you're so right. You look out the door on a Sunday and everybody's exercising. So what are some options for these people?
To start off with, when you're looking at the appetizers, I will always go for an ahi tuna. And if there's bread or there's the wontons, which are very fattening, they're fried, I'll skip the wontons. I'll just have the sashimi, as it's also called, or the ahi tuna, which is a raw tuna starter. You can also have any of the ceviches, are extremely healthy. It's just vegetables, and it's a fish or seafood which has been cured in lime juice, salt, pepper, and it's delicious. Also, you can have salads. Any kind of salad is completely fine. Just be sure to omit fried foods, excessive cheeses, and always have the dressing on the side. I also advise against mayonnaise-based dressings. They are laden with fat. Your best option, if you're really watching your calories, is to have oil, vinegar, pepper, and a tiny bit of salt.
So what if you wake up on a Sunday morning and all you want to eat is a pancake? What do you do?
If you want to have a sweet option, I always wake up wanting savory. What I would do is I would go for a whole wheat option, whole wheat pancakes, a whole wheat waffle. Any of the restaurants, for the most case, will have a whole wheat breakfast burrito, or they usually do have whole wheat options for toast. Multi-grain is actually the best. Omit the butter, and I would use sparingly the syrup. And always try to go for maple syrup. Most of the time, if it's not in one of the better restaurants or a farm-to-table restaurant, they're going to basically have a sugary, watery substance, which is also known as, air quotes, syrup, which is not true maple syrup. You always want to go for maple syrup because that's natural and that's healthier.
Wow, those are really good points there. And those fish full of omega, I'm sure that's like a great way to start your day.
It's excellent, especially if you're going to go for a salmon, which is, you're right, rich in omega-3, which is essential to your diet. And those are, along with avocado, what are considered good fats. So you ideally want to have a not frozen, fresh, unfarmed, wild caught is what you want to look for, salmon at least once a week. It's excellent for you. And actually, my brother loves to eat the skin, which is rich in nutrients as well. I just personally don't care for the skin.
I can't eat a salmon skin either. But hey, it's a good option. It's good to know. These are really great tips.
Thank you.
Where do you find all this? Where do we go? What suggestions do you have for restaurants for, I don't know, breakfast or dinner?
It depends. If you're in the Edgewater area, which is where I live, some places that I love to go to are MC Kitchen, which is actually in the Design District, right down the street from my house. It's elegant fine dining, but everything is farm to table. Everything is fresh. Even the pasta is handmade. They have an exceptional wine list. They also have a sommelier. You have Black Brick, which is Chef Richard Hell's restaurant, which is the same owner as Etiquette Kitchen in Midtown Miami. That's excellent dim sum and wonderful Hong Kong inspired Chinese. That's a casual restaurant. I also like to go for cocktails and tapas to Sugarcane, which is also in Midtown. It's an excellent place with a lovely outside bar, and everything is in small portions so you can share. It's great for dates. It's wonderful to meet friends after work. And Midtown also has the Midtown Oyster Bar, which is delicious, fresh seafood and delightful oysters if you feel like seafood fare.
I'm already getting hungry from all of this. How about breakfast? Or
Morgan's has a wonderful breakfast. It has
Also
a
in
brunch.
Midtown? In Midtown?
That is right on 29th Street. It's just south, technically across, about a block south of the actual Midtown Miami. There is a spot featured on Anthony Bourdain's show called S&S Diner, which is 22nd, and I believe it's Northeast 2nd Avenue. It's a greasy spoon, but it is fantastic casual food.
Great. Oh, how about breakfast? How about South Beach? Other areas that you may think of?
South Beach, you have to be very careful because it's getting better now, but there's a lot of tourist traps and it can be very expensive for what you get. Orange Blossom, which is diagonally across from the W Hotel on 20th, and Collins has a nice breakfast. If you want something decadent, you can go to the Delano.
I like that. Decadent. Delicious.
It is fantastic. They have a buffet or a la carte usually. You can go to the Raleigh where they have a Michael Schwartz restaurant. They have brunch there. It's meant to be good. I haven't tried it yet. There's a lot of options, but I would say go on Yelp or TripAdvisor before you dine there. Also ask friends because South Beach is constantly changing and evolving. And what was good last year is not necessarily good this year.
That quick? 1 year?
Yes.
Less than 1 year?
Yes.
That's
and
amazing.
There's a lot of restaurants going out of business. There's a lot of restaurants opening up. So
What makes them, what is it, why is it changing so much?
because the cost of rents are going up,
Oh,
the cost, their overhead with the staff, and South Floridians are very fickle. It's also the rising food costs. Food is actually getting more expensive.
oh, organic is super expensive.
Yes.
I mean, healthy eating, I don't know why. It should be the opposite, right? It used to be that vegetables were very cheap and accessible and nobody wanted to eat them.
They should be accessible to everyone, and I think that's going to change hopefully in the next few years. But yes, there's a huge price hike in the organic and the farm-to-table foods, and it's a catch-22 because if you want that type of food, you have to go to the more expensive, more chic restaurants to get it.
Wow. How about other areas? Are they more affordable, like Brickell, maybe Coral Gables? I mean, who knows, Coconut Grove?
Coconut Grove has a beautiful restaurant that has a lovely garden setting called Peacock Cafe. That's nice for a date, to take your mother on Mother's Day, for a quinceañera, for a bridal shower. It's a beautiful restaurant. It's tiny, but it's quaint. Lovely menu, beautiful ambiance. I highly recommend that. You can also go to Jaguar, which is Peruvian. That's on Main Highway. That's great.
Jaguar is always like like you can't go wrong with Jaguar.
It's lovely. It's a
Right.
great restaurant.
Right.
And it's healthy because Peruvian food, generally speaking, especially if you stick to the fish and the ceviches, you cannot go wrong.
Right. There are a lot of Peruvian around, right? It seems almost like there's a lot of them, a lot of new ones all the time.
I have, within 2 miles of my house, 6 or 7 of the top Peruvian restaurants in South Florida. I have
Wow.
about 15 in total.
Wow. That
Just
is
between
amazing.
Edgewater and Brickell,
Right.
there might even be 20.
Wow. And I imagine there's a lot of meeting, socialization, meeting people, dating going around. I think that in your blog you have some dating tips for us. Any recommendations or suggestions where you're on a date on these restaurants?
I have tons of suggestions and
You probably have
recommendations.
cool stories going on in
I
there.
have many stories, and I'm actually going to post some this week. I suggest you go to Two Girls in the Dot City for my stories because I have one on ghosting, which is when men or women disappear all of a sudden.
Oh, God, yes.
I have one that's the rubber band effect, where a woman or a man pulls away and what happens if and when they come back or when they go away. I have one article about dating in the workplace, which is a very, very hot topic right now because the number 2 place people are meeting in the world is at work. The number 1 place is online.
Right.
So it's pervasive right now. A lot of people are doing it. That's why I felt it was important to the readers to write
It
about
sounds very interesting. I'm sure a lot of people would like to read about that.
I also have a dating etiquette article, which focuses on what you're asking, which is the do's and don'ts. I would say for a few pointers, it's always important to be polite, say please and thank you, both to your date and to the waiter.
I think they teach you that in kindergarten, don't they?
One would think, but you'd be surprised. I have many, many stories.
Okay.
I'll tell you after the podcast. But some people are rude to the waiters, but they're nice to their date. They don't understand that that's a reflection on their behavior
Right.
and their manners. Another pointer is make sure you're on time. You don't want to waste the other person's time because, Rosanna, you know how busy you are working
Yes.
60, 70 hours a week as
Yes.
a busy master's
Yes.
graduate student, and you're also a full-time mom and
Right.
professional.
Right.
The way I tell people is, do you want someone wasting your time?
Right.
Don't do
right.
that to them.
Right.
And the other thing that people...
And that in Miami, where we run sometimes on a Latin schedule, not to put Latins down or anything, but, schedule is a little less Anglo. That is a big issue, I guess, for some people.
It can be cultural. Exactly. So if you come 15 minutes late, that's on time for Miami.
Yeah.
And someone else who's from Germany or from wherever, from Detroit, can say how very rude this lady is 15 minutes late. So I would say try to be on time. The other thing is that I tell everyone, man, woman, doesn't matter if he has no hair or has a full head of hair. Groom yourself properly. The other person will more likely than not, hopefully, put attention to their appearance, and you should as well. You have to be here now, be present, be positive. And if you're not positive and you're not well groomed and you're not into it, don't have the date in the first place.
Yeah, and that sounds like, there's a lot to talk about cell phone etiquette and being in the present and all of that. I guess that would be a hot topic.
That's a whole other topic that I actually I've written that I've said, turn off your cell phone and do not look at it the whole day.
Yeah.
That's an absolute deal breaker. And I've written about that actually in my dating etiquette article in Two Girls in the City, because especially now with the millennials, you'll see them literally
on the
phone. Well, for 2 hours at dinner, and they're not looking up once. They're on their phone the whole time.
Right.
It's extremely antisocial, not to mention rude. And if you're there, think about it, to get to know someone. How are you going to get to know someone if you're not even looking at them and not even engaging
I cannot imagine. I mean, I'm not a millennium, so that is beyond my conscience. Yeah. Do you have any other cool ideas or tips you wanna give us in these last few minutes of our presentation today?
I'd only say you can visit my blog, Two Girls in the City, if you want more tips. And you can also remember, treat people like you want to be treated. I will leave you with that, because I say that in a lot of my dating blogs at the end of the articles, because it's so important. Just ask yourself, be self-aware, first of all, of your behavior and how it affects others, and ask yourself, would I like it if such and such happened to me? And if the answer is no, don't do it to someone else. If you don't like it that someone cancels half an hour before a date, don't do that to someone else.
Right. That kind of makes sense. Yeah. Canceling half an hour before that is like...
It's happened to me.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't want to be in those shoes. Well, anyway, thank you all for listening today. And thank you, Stacey, for coming. I'm sure I'm going to log into your blog and read all those fun stories.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. Next month, we will be having another presenter with us here at Metaesthetics Miami, bringing you health and wellness topics for entertainment and information. Hope you have a wonderful day. You can always call us at 305-356-7402. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening. We are Metaesthetics Miami, located at the University of Miami Hospital. You can reach us online at www.metaestheticsmiami.com or by phone at 305-356-7402. We look forward to hearing from you and sharing our next segment with you.